In the blink of an eye, her world shattered. Betrayed by the man she loved, her life ended in tragedy. But fate had other plans. As consciousness returned, she found herself thrust back in time. Given a second chance at life and revenge, opening her eyes. She was stunned to see her younger self, staring back in the mirror. So familiar soundings of her childhood home confirmed the impossible she had traveled to the past. Memories of her previous life flooded back, along with the burning desire for vengeance against those who wronged her. With the knowledge of the future and wisdom beyond her years, she began carefully laying the groundwork for her revenge. She excelled in her studies, cultivated powerful connections, and built her own business empire. All the while, she kept a watchful eye on her ex-husband Tombe, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As her plans unfolded, an unexpected complication arose. A new man entered her life, kind, passionate, and utterly devoted to her. His presence awakened feelings she thought long dead. For the first time, she questioned whether revenge was truly a path to happiness. But she couldn't forget the betrayal and pain of her past life. With still resolve, she continued her mission, piece by piece. She dismantled her ex-husband's carefully constructed wealth. His business crumbled, his reputation was left in tatters, and his true nature was exposed for all to see. In the end, she stood triumphant over the ruins of his life, but victory tasted bittersweet, as she gazed at the broken man before her. She realized revenge hadn't filled the emptiness in her heart. Perhaps true healing lay not in destroying the past, but in embracing a new future, one filled with love, hope, and second chances. With a deep breath, she turned away from the arcade of her former life. A new path stretched before her, full of possibilities. Whatever the future held, she would face it on her own terms, wiser, stronger, and finally free from the shadows of the past. The journey through time had changed her in ways she never expected. She had come seeking vengeance, but found something far more valuable: the power to rewrite her own destiny. As she stepped into the unknown, a smile played across her lips. This was only the beginning of her story. Her rebirth into the past had given her incredible advantages, but also presented unique challenges. Armed with knowledge of future events, she carefully navigated the familiar yet different landscape of her youth. Every decision, every intention took on significance as she worked to reshape her fate. She drew herself into her studies with a passion that amazed her teachers and peers alike. Subjects that had on the board her now fascinated her with their potential applications. She devoured books on business, psychology, and strategy, tools that would prove invaluable in the years to come. As her academic star rose, so too did her social standing. She cultivated a network of influential friends and mentors, laying the foundations for her future empire. Her natural charm, combined with wisdom beyond her years, drew people to her like moths to a flame. All the while, she kept a careful eye on the man who would become her husband and ultimately her betrayer. She watched as he climbed the corporate ladder, noting every underhanded tactic and questionable deal. This time, she would be ready for his schemes when they finally met. She played her part to perfection. She allowed him to pursue her, to believe he was winning her heart. All the while, she was setting the stage for his eventual downfall. Every tender moment, every declaration of love was tinged with the knowledge of his future betrayal. As her own star continued to rise, she used her growing influence to subtly undermine his position. A whispered word here, a strategic move there slowly but surely. She began to unravel the tapestry of his success. But even as she pursued her vendetta, life had other plans. A chance encounter brought a new man into her orbit, one whose kindness and integrity stood in stark contrast to her husband Tombe. Despite her best efforts to keep him at arm's length, she found herself drawn to his warmth and genuine affection. For the first time since her rebirth, she faltered in her resolve. The path of revenge stretched out before her, clear and familiar. But alongside it, a new possibility emerged, a life free from the shadows of her past, filled with love and hope for the future. As she stood at these crossroads, the weight of her choices pressed down upon her. The memories of her past life, the betrayal, the pain, the tragic end, were with the promise of a new beginning. Could she truly let go of her carefully laid plans? Or was she destined to repeat the cycle of pain and retribution? In the end, her desire for justice won out. She steeled herself against the pull of new love and redoubled her efforts to bring down the man WHO had once destroyed her, with clinical precision. She set her final plans in motion. One by one, the pillars of her ex-husband's success began to crumble. Business deals fell through, allies turned their backs, and whispers of scandal grew to a deafening roar. She watched from the shadows as his carefully constructed wealth collapsed around him. Then the dust settled. He was left with nothing, his wealth gone, his reputation in tatters, his true nature exposed for all to see. As she gazed upon the broken man before her, she expected to feel triumph, satisfaction, perhaps even joy. Instead, a hollow emptiness filled her chest. The revenge she had pursued so single-mindedly had not brought the closure she sought. The pain of her past life remained at a lake that no amount of retribution could soothe. In that moment of clarity, she realized the true cost of her choices. In pursuing vengeance, she had closed herself off to the possibility of genuine happiness. The kind, passionate man, WHO head of her ancient lab, was now beyond her reach, a casualty of her single-minded focus on the past. As she turned away from the wreckage of her former life, a bittersweet smile played across her lips. Her genital time had granted her the power to reshape her destiny. That true healing lay not in destroying the past, but in embracing the future. With a deep breath, she stepped into the unknown. The pet ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in either of her lips, she felt truly free, free from the shadows of betrayal, free from the burden of vengeance, free to write her own story. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them on her own terms. She had been given a second chance at life, and she was determined not to waste it. The future stretched out before her, full of possibilities and potential. As she walked away from the ruins of her past, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The chapter of revenge was closed, but her story was far from over. With each step, she moved closer to a future of her own making, one filled with hope, growth, and the promise of new beginnings. The sunset on her old life casting long shadows behind her. But ahead, a new dawn was breaking, and in its light, she saw the endless possibilities that awaited her. This was not an ending, but a beginning, the start of a journey she would shape with her own hands. With a heart bowed heavy with the lessons of the past and light with hope for the future, she stepped forward into her new life. The girl WHO had traveled through times and vengeance was gone. In her place stood a woman ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. As the strays of sunlight faded, she smiled to herself. This was only the first page of her new story, and she couldn't wait to see how it would unfold.